Welcome to What's Up with the What's Up, where we talk about whatever with whomever. I'm Desmond.
I'm Sienna.
And you already know Bailey from the last episode. If you haven't watched the last episode, stop right now and go check that out. But we are doing what's called the SYMBIS Assessment, where Sienna and I individually, it's like a premarital counseling assessment, basically dissecting your relationship. We took our own tests separately, and then it spits out all these things about our relationship that are kind of eerily accurate. And today, this is called the SYMBIS Assessment, and we're going to just break it up, all the categories up, into 3 or 4 categories per episode, and we're going to go through it so you guys get to know us a little bit more and see how dysfunctional we are, but we make it work. Bailey, what are we going through today? What topics are we going through today?
So we're going to start with time style and then move into finances and finally spirituality.
Let's do it.
All right.
What's time style mean? Like how I spend my time?
So it starts with there's this, I don't know, quadrant graph.
Are we math class?
I don't know.
I didn't
What's
sign
it
up for
called
this.
Okay, so it's basically, are you unscheduled or scheduled, and you're thinking about the future or the present. And then there's
I'll put this visual up
with
for the people
those-
watching on YouTube.
yeah. So I'm going to go to 2 corners of it, accommodator and planner, because those are very opposite, and one of you is one of those, and the other is
Gee. I
Wait,
wonder
what?
Which
So what were the
one.
2? Accommodator and a planner?
yes.
Wait, is there a definition for accommodator before you say who it is?
Accommodate. Hey Siri,
We'll
what's
get in-
what's the definition of accommodate? What's the definition of accommodate? Verb, provide lodging or sufficient space for, fit in with
That
wishes
is the
or needs
no,
of.
that's
Adapt
not
to.
the
I
def-
think that's what it
I'm
means.
just going to read
Siri's
what it
never
says
wrong.
on
So
Okay, so let's just start with accommodator. Santa, you're 4% an accommodator.
That's out of 100?
what does it
Yeah.
mean though?
And Desmond, you're 52%, and then
You don't know if that's a
I
good
won.
thing.
I won.
Yeah, but you don't know if it's a good thing or not.
so then
Oh.
going to the opposite, Sienna, you're 62% a planner, and Desmond, you're 8% a planner.
Do you know why? Can we go into why, or are you just?
No,
I'm,
just
gonna
I'm-
go
read it
into
first,
why.
and
I
then
feel
we
like
go
I need to
to-
defend
Okay,
myself.
I'm gonna
Like,
go
just
into.
I feel attacked.
chill.
Do you want me to read the descriptions at the bottom or hear the
This is getting out of control.
strengths?
Okay, dude, I don't know. I don't know what you're seeing.
Just guide us. I'm just gonna follow you and
What
complain
makes most sense?
and defend myself when I feel attacked.
What?
That's-
The last episode had me kind of. I'm on edge right now because last episode we got pretty
Nobody
heated.
was even mean to you.
Anyway, let's talk about the strengths of Desmond being an accommodator. The strengths are
'Cause his ego needs it.
easygoing, fully present. The drawbacks are
So queer.
No one used the word queer like that. It's weird. It's queer.
so the drawbacks are that you're disorganized
Yep.
and complacent.
Yep. Well, I don't know why.
You just heard that it was gonna be negative, and you were on board.
And then your challenge as an accommodator is setting better boundaries. So accommodator is basically the combination of living in the present in an unscheduled way, which
I like that.
He doesn't
You
need help setting boundaries. He's very good at that.
Well, and I don't know what it means by the boundaries in that, but in terms of disorganized, I think people don't understand the accommodators of the world. You know, I'm just gonna speak. I'm gonna speak for the
Here we
accommodators.
go.
Because like I can be disorganized but know where everything is.
That's
And
impossible.
when you organize it, I have no clue where anything is anymore in the house.
I honestly kind of disagree with you being an accommodator, to be honest with you.
Why?
Because I don't see you as someone, I see you as someone who lives in the present, definitely, but I see you as more scheduled than unscheduled.
No. Well,
In some
I
ways.
feel like I see what you're saying, and like in certain ways, yes, but
Like what?
I don't. The organization. Go walk in that bedroom and look at my side of the room and his side of the room.
I don't think that's what it means by disorganized.
Part of it.
It is.
I don't think that's what it means by
No, because
disorganized.
no,
You're talking about
it was part
planning?
of it. Because then, like, it seems like I just plan a lot of things. Like I say, I want to do this and this and this and this and this, but then I don't actually put it in an order that because I always find myself trying to do 4 or 5 things at once because I don't actually plan it out.
You were trying to plan a Christmas get-together with your family when it had already been planned for 3 months,
Let's go.
and you had no clue about it. But
Because I had other stuff going on that I wanted
but you
to
were
plan.
trying to plan the same thing for the same thing, but it was already a thing.
I don't have a calendar on my wall. I don't keep things on the calendar. I just say, yeah, I'm going to do that.
And that's where the problem is.
That's what I do. That's what I do. Calendars are overrated. I think that you need to. I know that offended you. I think that I just live life, and then I want to do all these things, and I know Saturday is going to happen. I also don't like planning things unless it's WrestleMania. Things way out and say, yeah, let's just do that sometime, guys. Let's just do that 7 years from now. I like to say, let's do that tomorrow.
Because
What's happening in October, Desmond?
Well, that's different because it's an anniversary of my wedding. So we don't have to, we already know what's going to happen.
you don't want to plan like, oh, let's get dinner 2 weeks from now, because the real reason is that you don't know if you're going to want to go have dinner because you're probably just going to want to sit at home.
No, and also, what if something better comes up?
That's rude.
It's not even just you, bro. Like,
No, I'm not saying for me, for anybody. If we make plans with them and something better comes up and that's why you don't want to go, that's rude.
no, I will go. It's just I'm not going to be able to go to that cooler thing, but I'm going to go to this because I said I was going to do this. So, like, I don't want to cage myself in.
Remember that time that we got invited to...
Everyone, dude, don't act like this. I'm the only one who does this either.
We got invited to a campfire and we said we were going to go, and then we woke up from a nap 4 hours later and it was over.
Oh my god.
They were texting
Who?
us, Sean and Michaela. They were texting us like they thought we died or something because we said we'd be there at a certain time and we fell asleep and just never
we're
showed
just
up.
Tired. I don't know if that counts as what we're talking about, though.
It does.
All right.
Okay.
Because it's making a plan and
Oh
then
my god.
not being organized to follow through with it.
Moving forward, Sienna is 62% a planner. Your strengths are you're efficient and prepared. Your drawbacks are impatient and insensitive. And your challenge is being fully present.
I agree with it being fully present.
No, I
struggle
agree
with-
with all of it.
What was the word that you read right before that?
Impatient and insensitive.
Am I insensitive?
Yes.
How?
You're just. I know that you are a nice person, but if it's not what you planned, there's no room for anything else. And
Yeah,
I can't
okay.
just be spontaneous all the time because it's like you can't function unless it's been on the calendar, unless it's in the plan, unless it's in the. Sometimes you just gotta
Yeah, he's
say,
not wrong.
you know what? Never mind, we're doing this. Or if there's like a.
Since you have been in my life, I have gotten better at that because you brought that to this relationship.
And on the flip side, she wants to have it planned like we were just talking about, and then I'm like, well, I don't even know if that's what I want to do. Like, I'll know maybe that week. Like, I'll know this.
Yeah, I
I'll
don't
know.
like having to wait for an answer on stuff like that. Like if something's planned, I'm like, hey, do you want to go do this? And he's like, I don't know yet. And then I have to wait.
You're
and
in
follow up
your
with
family
him.
does it all the time. You're in the wrong family then, because your family is like
It's usually
last second. Hey, we are meeting here. Like, we want to do this idea, but we don't really know where, what time.
oh,
and
that
then,
doesn't bother me. If I know that
How then?
if I know that we're doing it, if I know that we're going, I don't like. I'll find out when, like where. It's not usually a when.
It's a when. How many? When's the next time we're gonna get photos done?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And then they plan photos, and then they plan photos, and they plan photos.
But it's
That's
not
just
like,
one example, but
not
it's
we
like
do it
that.
the day before. Well, okay, that's actually
Yeah,
not
what are you
true.
talking about, dude?
Yeah, I don't know why that doesn't bother me as much.
Yeah.
Because you grew up with it and
I
you're
guess
used
so.
to those people being like that.
But if I grew up with
It's
it,
not a
then,
bad thing. There's just so many moving parts,
Yeah.
so it's hard to plan. But with me, I'm just like, I don't like to get caged in, you know. And
Caged in.
get caged in because, like, unless it's important stuff like a marriage, then I'm obviously gonna plan that and be there. But if it's
Okay,
other,
so one thing.
if it's
ever in his
other
life.
things that are like just hangout things, I'm gonna come through. I'm gonna be happy to be there and stuff. But like, let's just do it this Saturday. Let's just do it this day and stuff, and not like plan out and make this whole thing about it. Like, because we don't even know tomorrow's not promised. We don't even know what can happen. So let's just live our life and just.
I mean, we pretty much have shifted.
Like, Bailey didn't even know she was
that.
gonna be here till yesterday. So.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, I've adapted to that. I don't always like it, but
Good.
I've adapted to it.
I know that feeling.
And there are certain things that like I need you to just say yes, and this is what we're doing on this day at this time, and you just have to do it sometimes.
Deal.
All right.
Good.
So, Sienna, as a planner, you can recoup moments you're missing together in your marriage by taking a break. It's profoundly simple advice, but it holds true. Planners are perpetually motivated by what's next. This means you get a lot accomplished, but it also means you miss out on a lot of opportunities to connect. That's why taking a break from your hard work can go a long way in solidifying your connection with Desmond. Granted, this is not always easy for a person who is hardwired the way you are, but you can do it. In fact, it simply needs to be a part of your plan. You need to schedule time where you take a rest from planning. Wait, what? You need to schedule when you need to not schedule. Where you take a rest from planning and simply savor the time you have with Desmond. Also, affirming Desmond is crucial. As an accommodating spouse, Desmond is probably helping you relax and even live longer.
So this is all very true prior to 3 months ago. I've gotten lazy since I've been pregnant. I don't want to do anything ever.
You pee a lot.
Huh?
You pee a lot.
I pee a lot. But I'm perfectly fine at this point in my life after working 5 days a week to just do nothing on a weekend or just sit around and be. But that's different than what I used to be. So this is all very true for previous, and I'm sure I'll go back to this when I have kids and schedules and all that stuff. But it's just weird right now because I'm like, that sounds great. Just doing nothing. That's awesome.
Well, it's also like taking when Desmond is being kind of last minute and spontaneous with things and accepting that and going along with it rather than being like, well, we should have figured this out days ago, not last minute.
Yeah. So, and even if I do go along with it, I usually have an attitude about it. So I should probably just get rid of the attitude. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and I need to take my own advice because I do the same thing. I'm like, wait, but the plan was this 2 days ago. Why is it different now? And then you just don't end up enjoying yourself because you're just annoyed by the fact that it changed last minute.
That is true. I get way too focused on the surrounding things and the planning and the what did or didn't happen than actually just enjoying the moment.
Right, and I think that's the whole point of accepting Desmond as an accommodator. So, Desmond, as an accommodator, you're in what's sometimes known as a complementary marriage. Your subjective approach complements Sienna's objective experience, and vice versa. Of course, you may say you were opposite instead of complementary, and you'd be right. Your two time styles can either work for you or against you. It all depends on your attitude. For example, as an accommodator, you may sometimes love the way Sienna goes about planning your life together, since this is something you don't naturally do. At other times, however, this planning may get on your nerves. So what can you do? To begin with, let Sienna plan. Learn to appreciate it. If Sienna's planning tends to take the spontaneity out of your marriage, however, don't be afraid to disrupt the plan with some impulsive fun. Remind Sienna that the point is not to fulfill the plan, but to enjoy a deeper connection.
Deal.
I think you guys have already talked about how you've kind of reached that point where sometimes you go along with what's planned and sometimes you do stuff spontaneously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You gotta have a good mix, and then one person will actually, they'll be drained. If one person has too much of what they want to do, like the planning, I'll feel kind of like burned out a little bit, and then vice versa. If I'm just too, all over the place, she'll get burned out trying to match the energy and just give me what I want. So it's a balance that needs to happen, so we both feel not burned out. But it feels like constant work for both of us in that sense, but it's not burnt out because we're getting what we want. It's like a pendulum, we're going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
I think we've wrapped up that topic pretty well.
That was a good one.
So, we're going to move on to something that may be a little controversial. Finances.
Easy.
Everyone says that. It's
actually been one of the easiest things in our relationship.
Fought about money.
Since the beginning. I just gave her my money.
That's why.
Just take it and do it.
Actually, watch this paper say that we're like not on the same page.
Yeah, you guys don't know what you're doing.
I forgot what it said.
Honestly, you're on the same page in 3 out of the 4 topics here. So there's money style, budget skills, financial fears, and debt. So you're the same on all except money style. So you both are sticking to some type of budget. Probably for Desmond, it's an assigned budget by Sienna.
No, what that means is if Desmond wants to buy something, he asks me if we have enough money at the time, and I check and say
I
yes
can
or no.
usually like, because if you let me, I'll just start like feeling like I'm rich and just do what I want. But I'm not reckless. It's just if it's like a big purchase or we've been spending, if I can feel like we've been spending a lot of money lately, that means we've been spending way too much money. So when I feel like we're kind of spending too much money, I'll just kind of text her. Or like, I mean, we both have access to everything financially. It's just I trust her to take care of that because she wants to take care of that. I just give her my money and she does all that budgeting and stuff. And if we're going over budget, like for one category, like eating out or fast food or something like that, like shopping.
Both of your examples were food. That sums up this entire topic with
That's
how
all I spend
Desmond
my money
spends
on,
money.
Food.
If it's that, she'll just say, hey, well, we'll mention to each other like, hey, we got to calm down this week on this because we're going a little too hard this month. Right
I've
now.
learned to not tell him when we have extra money.
I told her not to.
If I get a bonus or something, I used to
Don't
be
tell
like,
me.
hey, we have extra right now. But just because like I was excited about it and like that's a good thing and I see us getting ahead, he takes that as we can eat out every single night this week.
And not all the time, but like sometimes I'm more apt out of us two to be like, let's go shopping. Let's not do something smart.
Well, that feeds into
because we've been doing so well so long that we have this extra money. Why don't we?
But we
get
have
to
the extra
enjoy-
money
I
because we've
know.
been doing so
I
well.
know that all makes sense to me, but the instant gratification piece feels so good when you're in it, right? So you got to split. Sometimes you got to.
Sometimes we do, and
Sometimes you got to treat yourself.
Sometimes I just like chill out and do the whole like live in the moment and let's make a memory.
Listen, I'm the
and-
fun one here. If you haven't noticed, I'm the fun. She's the grounded. That's how we are. That's how it is. I just bring the fun, bring the spontaneity, bring the excitement. And she's like, chill out. Just be real about this and be an adult because you're about to be a father. So calm down.
Well, that feeds into your money styles being different. Sienna is a saver and Desmond is a spender.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, if she could save every penny possible, she would. Like before, okay, but here's the thing: before I came into this house, she was eating pasta every night, and not eating well, and not living her life. Like she was just saving all her money and just saving her money.
Yeah, and then within 6 months of meeting you, I blew through half my
Let's go.
savings.
But how happy were you?
Yeah, I was pretty happy.
So you
no,
need to.
I just, and it's not like I don't ever spend money and I save everything.
But you hate it. You hate spending money.
But I do hate it.
You hate the fact. One time you said you hated buying food because you said, I hate the fact that I'm paying money just to poop.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend money just
God.
to poop this
Which
out.
is why I bought
I'm like, that's
pasta
so weird to
and
say.
just like the cheapest food that would last me the longest because
Your grandmother's the same way too. She
says
says she doesn't even. Yeah, she does. She thinks food for the most part is just pointless. Like why people focus on it so much. And
like once in a
spend
while
so
I
much
like to
money.
go out and get like a nice meal, like something special or whatever. But if I ate the same thing, I was just talking about this at work. If I ate leftovers of the same thing every single night all week long, I'd be perfectly
I mean,
fine.
I'll do it. I didn't come from a family of money. I think that's part of it. I think we were talking about it the other day too. Like growing up, we had no money, and we didn't have like all these like we could eat out all the time and stuff, and we couldn't do any of that, Dab. And when I moved on my own and I was on by myself, and I had to depend on no one else besides myself, and I had my bills squared away. Like I've never not paid my bills. It's just after that I just lived life. Like I just spent money. And so I felt like when I was by myself, I was rich because I had no obligations to anyone else. And then I met Sienna, and she's like, yeah, you can't do that. You can't. That's stupid. So it's just, this kind of like bring me back to reality. And then I kind of push her a little bit out of reality, and we just find that balance,
Yeah, it's all reality because you want to save for those big things that are important to save for that you can't really just 2 days in advance make the money for, but then you also still want to enjoy your time.
I think we have a really good balance figured out of like having a savings, which I think of as like emergency money. Like if one of our cars breaks down and we have to get it fixed, like we have money saved up for that. And then we have like all of our future stuff, like investments and retirement and like all of that stuff. All like that money just goes there and we don't think about it. But then we also have our bill money with a little bit of extra for just like if we want to go buy clothes once in a while or if we want to eat out, like that type of thing. So
I like to think that I'm like that, but I'm not. I'm definitely the spender in my relationship. And not to say that my partner is not a spender, because someone accidentally put an extra 0 on their car payment
Let's
this
go.
month.
oh no.
It's hilarious. But the thing is, he focused on saving so much since he started working when he was in his teens.
Mhm.
So like he's been a saver and has that set aside for a long time. So he just doesn't think about it anymore. Whereas I have never really focused that much on my savings. I've just been like, okay, I need to have enough money to pay my bills, and I'd rather have the buffer in my checking account if something comes up than in my savings account, which doesn't necessarily make sense, because then I see it in my checking account and I'm like, oh, I had this money.
And
I
it's
have,
just
like,
so
extra.
easily accessible.
Yeah,
Right.
It's all
And
mental.
I'm not like buying useless things. I'm trying to buy things that are useful and that I know I'm going to use, but they're not necessary all the
Right.
time.
Right.
No, I think that what you said about how he has just always saved, that's one thing. I've told you this, like I thank my parents so much for that.
Yeah.
They trained me that way from the second I got a babysitting job at 13. They said, you're going to save half. Like, because at that point they could still tell me what to do with my money. But they said, save half immediately. And then the other half is yours. I didn't have bills or anything. I was 13. So I just spent it on whatever. But I kept that up since forever. I mean, it's not half now, but it's still a percentage. And it just became habit. And that's just how I learned to manage money, and it carried over. But I think it's really smart. I'm happy that they made me get in that habit.
So there's this section at the bottom here, money talks. To minimize friction over finances, you'll want to keep the communication channels clear. Completing these sentences will help you do just that. So you guys have already kind of talked about this. In my home growing up, money was, and Desmond talked about his. You talked about how your parents taught you to save. So let's move on to the second one. When I think about our financial future, blank.
Oh, that's the blank.
Yeah.
You go first.
When I think about our financial future, I think we're set up to be on a really good path. I don't see. I'm not like, oh, what are we gonna do? Because I think if we just keep doing what we're doing and we have plans to have more streams of income, and like it's just a matter of making all that happen, I think we're gonna be set up really well.
Yeah, I think like you were saying, we have a good foundation, and we just gotta execute it. And just, I mean, we're always looking for just other ways of streams of income and stuff. But other than that, we have a good foundation, and we have the trust between each other. I know it sounds like I'm just like belligerent with the money, but I have a conscience with it. I mean, I lived with myself before, and I was fine. I just didn't have savings, So like, I understand that piece. I just trust her. And she wants me to trust her, and there's peace in that in our relationship with me giving the trust to her to handle that and just kind of communicate. And we were completely comfortable talking about money. That's never been a problem. Mm-mm. So financial future, bright.
So it sounds like you guys have had a lot of talks about money before, but I wonder if you can answer this one. Is what you may not know about money and me is.
By what you may not know about money and me, like me talking to her?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought it meant for like you. Like, I don't know.
Obviously, I don't know about your finances.
Oh, there isn't anything. There's nothing.
No, I don't think it's very open, and it's all our money is our money, and we don't like.
I mean, we know where every dollar's going. We know where
Yeah.
everything's going. There's nothing, and there's no like habit that we aren't aware of now that we haven't talked about.
Even right down to, I've been trying to find leggings that fit me with a belly, and so I keep ordering them on Amazon. So I keep getting packages, but it's not like I just keep, like I'm returning them and exchanging them. And I
And
told
I know
him,
this.
and he knows it, but I still felt it. I'm like, just so you know, like I'm not just buying things on Amazon every single day. Like they're just trading.
And if I did see her like tons of Amazon packages. I also don't care because then that means that Sienna has deemed that we have the money to do that. So do it. Like, I don't feel anything about it. I just make jokes about it.
I know. Sometimes I feel guilty though, because
Well, you should. Next question.
No, you always ask me if you can spend money, and I don't have to ask anybody. I just do it.
Well, it's because then if I spend too much money, you get anxious, and I would just rather
just wanna
not
know
buy.
where it's going.
I would just rather not spend it
I
too
care more
much and
about
go
it,
crazy
I
than
guess.
and you get anxious because maybe you want to do something. I don't know what you had planned, so whatever.
Just
Just buy me food and I'm good.
Reading the rest of these, I feel like you don't really have an answer for most of them, but let's go through them anyway. The thing I appreciate about you in relationship to money is...
I mean, I can trust her with it, and I can trust her that she's not going to do anything dumb, and we're going to wake up one day and be massively in debt and have no means of anything. She's been blowing it, and I don't think she has any evil intent, so.
He doesn't even know.
And if she does, then whatever.
Right
Too
where I
late
want it.
now.
Then
Too
that's our
late
life.
now.
No, I just appreciate that we're both open about it.
Mhm.
Okay, so when it comes to money, I'd like to improve my...
Discipline.
I don't know if stress is the right word. I wish I didn't care about it so much sometimes.
Okay.
Because like she will see a pattern of something rather than what it is. She'll see this is a pattern, and then she'll fast forward 6 months or a year, 2 years, and then worst case scenario in her head plays out, and then that's what she's anxious about.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Instead of just letting it happen
Yeah.
how it's happening right now.
If we
I'm-
do this
I'm
once, if we
constantly
do this
thinking-
twice a night for 6 years,
Yeah.
we're gonna be done. Like, okay, dude, chill out.
So basically just stop focusing on sometimes the little things, which
Mhm.
kind of goes back, feeds into how you're different in your time styles too. Letting it be spontaneous every once in a while.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Okay, the last one is one specific action we could take right now that would help me is...
One specific action that we can take right now that would help me. Let me run the finances for a month.
No.
That sounds like that would hurt.
That would,
Sienna.
that would not help either of us.
No,
honestly.
I can do it, bro.
No, Desmond.
It's all of it's auto pay.
Desmond.
I can. Okay, she acts like I'm like a 5-year-old that just gets access to all this money and just does it. I'm fine. That's my submission to that. No, seriously, I don't know what we can do.
I think we're fine.
I'm a lost cause.
Yeah, I think you have it figured out.
Yeah.
All right. So finances, not the heated topic that a lot of people might think it is, which is definitely healthy. And I feel like talking about finances in a relationship has become more open in recent years with younger couples, just talking about it openly rather than... I mean, you have the situation where Sienna takes care of most of it, but you know what's going on, too.
Mhm.
It's not she's keeping you in the dark and, like,
I mean, yeah, I
shutting
have-
off your credit card. and-
Yeah, I have access to everything as much as she does. It's not that I don't pay attention to it. It's just I trust that she, like, if there was a problem, she would talk to me about it. So,
How often do you check the bank account? Like, just to look at it?
like, the last time I saw the balance is because I had to go to the ATM this week, and that was, like, the first time that I saw the balance in, like, 3 months.
Yeah, I look at it every day.
Yeah. Like, just because.
Just to see where everything's at and
I
like,
do
gauge
have,
what we
I
can
do
do.
have an app that, like, we set budgets out, so it does let me know, hey, this week you're on pace for this month to guys just chill out and eating out and stuff like that. Like, it kind of gauges me. I need cues because I'm not even thinking about that oftentimes until it's like almost last second, you know.
But-
That's the planner piece and the accommodator piece. Next topic.
Okay.
What's our final one? Bringing up the rear.
Spirituality.
Oh, this should be the easiest one.
Yeah, honestly, these were all pretty things you already were aware of or things you already agreed on. So nothing super exciting, honestly.
But the people want to know.
Right.
A popular demand, dude. Like, everyone, I'm stopping the street. Desmond, when are you gonna talk about spirituality?
So I feel like knowing you guys, this is something you connected on pretty early on in your relationship. So I'm just going to start with at the top. You feel closest to God through. And Sienna says, being compassionate and loving others, even if it means significant sacrifice. You are drawn to people in need, and the more needs you meet, the more energized you feel.
The more needs you meet. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I like helping people and
Very heavy into service.
being there for them. And if someone needs someone to talk to, like, I like being that person that they can trust and lean on.
Okay. So Desmond, yours is quiet contemplation, journaling, and reflection. You love God in a quiet pursuit, not in an attempt to explain God, but simply be closer to God. You listen to God through private times of meditation and prayer.
Yeah, especially as of late, because I'm part of a men's journey that is focused on journaling and prayer as the mainstay of it, and that's when I find like I'll be in it for. I tell my friends I don't know when I'm going to be back in this conversation. I'm gonna call you back whenever, because I'm going to start journaling now, and I just don't know how lost I'm going to get into it, and that's when because I feel like a good communication. Service, you're really heavy into service, like you find opportunities for that because it makes you feel like you are loving people, you are representing God in a good way. So I noticed that early on, and I'm just, it's not that I don't do it, it's just I'm, like you said, I feel the most energized that way, you know.
So you both have kind of talked about what you do to feel closest to God, and how can you support each other in this, in what each other needs and does to feel close to God.
Well, I mean, with his, like, he was just saying he's been journaling, and he's like, I'll get back to you. Like, I was texting him about something the other day, and he said, I'll talk to you later. I'm journaling. And I just knew, like, okay, like, back off. Like, just,
It's just
we're just not going to talk for a little bit because that's really important, and he's doing that, and that comes first right now.
And I'm not mentally going to be completely checked into either. I'm not going to be completely checked into journaling and our conversation wholly like I would want to be.
Well, you shouldn't be in both at the same time.
If I'm half in, half out on both, you know, trying to multitask that. So
yeah.
I just wanted to be in our conversations. I like the person I'm talking to feel like they are the person I'm talking to, and not like they can tell that. Because you can talk to someone, you can tell that they're thinking of something else. Or they're waiting for you to be done talking so they can go to the next conversation. I want to be completely present in the interactions I'm in. So that is why. So it's gonna be based on the balance. I think if I can help you is. How can I help you, Sienna? Is that for a question for me to answer, or is that for us to talk about right now and figure that out?
I guess we can just figure it out.
Then let's figure it out. What do you need?
I don't know. I feel like it's not something that, it's not like you're telling me, no, don't go help and be with those people. So if you just let me do it.
Yeah, I don't like it's weird because you are looking to serve, not be served. So it's like a weird type of thing to understand. And
because I'm thinking, like, it's not about me
Right.
in that moment. Like, it's not about what I need or for help. It's just I'm trying to help people.
I mean, and you like it when I'm also participating in things to service other people, and you encourage that.
Yeah, if we're going to do something together, I usually like that more. Unless I specifically don't want you to come to lunch with my friend.
Roasted. I'm only mad because I want food.
Desmond only wants food and to listen to the drama.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Stacy, no way.
He gets so,
feeds
like,
into
he
it.
loves it so much, but then he's like, I'm not
drama.
I don't like
I don't
drama.
like drama.
Like, okay.
He doesn't like drama for himself. He likes feeding into other people's drama.
Yeah, that's true.
And not
Anyways.
helping them.
Mhm.
I don't think this topic is about drama.
So, then there's your spiritual life together, what you believe about spiritual practices in marriage. You guys agreed on pretty much all of these.
Mhm.
So, I'm just going to quickly run through them. Practice the same religion, attend place of worship weekly, be involved in serving others together, receive communion together regularly, pray for each other, give a tithe, agree on theology, go to the same place of worship, discuss spiritual issues, study the Bible together regularly. And then the last one is pray together every day. And this one, it shows that you disagree on, and maybe it's just for the timing, or I don't know. Sienna said no and Desmond said yes. So do you want to talk about how it's different for each of you?
What was it?
Praying together every day. I think at that point,
Okay,
I
yeah.
answered no. I think you answered yes, like it's important, and I answered no, like we don't do that right now.
Yeah, and I mean,
because at that point we weren't.
yeah, we were not at that point, and we don't do it as consistently as I'd like. We do it sometimes together. We don't always. I'd like to pray more together regularly, but I think it's a consistency thing. So I think I said yes, right? No, I said no.
You said yes.
You said yes.
I'm not sure. I think it's because I was like, yeah, we do it. And you're like, well, we don't do it all the time.
Yeah.
It's a frequency thing.
So is it something both of you would like to do all the time?
I would like to.
Yes, I think that's important. It's just
and more than just like praying over the food, thank you God for the food. Like I'm intently praying with purpose for others, and just prayer together.
yeah.
So we gotta make that more of a priority.
Seems like you guys
Agreed.
are pretty much in sync with all of this. Again,
I mean, honestly, and I'm not trying to like judge other people, but anything on that list, I don't know how you can not be on the same page.
I think that
in
is a
being
core
marriage.
thing, and understanding that balance.
Yeah.
But
I mean, everybody's different. Everybody is whatever. But for me, it was important that all of those things line up.
they had to line up.
I think sometimes with
And-
other people, it's just understanding the importance to the other person, even if it isn't necessarily the same importance to you. Like, I'll say interreligious relationships. I don't know if that's the right way to say that, but
I know,
But
what,
I
you
know what you
mean.
mean.
you know, like people who are in a relationship and have two different religions and respecting each other's religion and accepting some of the practices into your home from both and figuring out some type of balance. And I think as long as it's not affecting your values as a couple, I think that you can work through that.
I don't
And
know.
have
I think
that conversation.
Your values come from the religion. Your values come through your faith. So it's hard. And if they find a balance, more power to them. But I
just imagine that being a big challenge because when you're
yeah,
going
huge
through
hurdle.
big life events or like life's not always fun, and like there are hard things in life and that you have to get through together. And if you are not on the same page with God and your values and your morals, whether you understand the other person or not, I feel like it'd still be hard to get through that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and at the core of some religions, they target other religions. So that's I know people who have conflicting religions in terms of what their beliefs are toward each other, and I am like, whoa, how do you? It's not my relationship, but
Right.
I just don't understand. I just don't understand it from me. I don't understand it, but it's if they can find a balance for it, then they can find a balance for it. I just don't understand.
I've never experienced that personally.
Yeah.
I've kind of been in agreement with. The only thing is, I can see how it is in friendships, like how you can manage a friendship in that
I
way,
can see
where
friendships
you're
more.
not at the same level spiritually, and you can still, like, to be honest, I have a completely different spiritual level than you guys.
Mhm.
Completely different. I wouldn't say opposite, but totally different to you guys, and we can still have conversations about it and it doesn't get weird, but we're also not going through huge life changes
Yeah,
and
right.
crises together.
and we're
or
not
raising kids or
we're not doing the marriage stuff together. We
Yeah.
are friends. I mean, and we all should love each other, but it's different when it comes to marriage. 'Cause
Right.
you're building a life and you need that your partner to be on the same level,
Yeah.
for it to work, I think, because then that's another ripple. It's complicated, but today was a good peek into balance, I guess. I think we have those. I'm grateful that, and this is like my closing thing for myself. I think that we are really good on those core things, and I think I'm just really grateful that out of everything in the SYMBIS assessment, we agree on those things because those are usually those are usually deal breakers for a lot of relationships just across the board when it's money or spirituality or time management. Like people don't feel like the other person's even involved in a relationship. Like these are core things that if one of them are not in sync, it causes a huge problem in people's relationships.
And it's interesting how those different topics are different, like time management and finances. It's kind of important that you complement each other in that way, because if you're both savers, when would you have someone who would just be like, let's go out and have fun tonight?
Right.
And if you're both spenders, then would you be worried for the future all the time? And same with time management. If you're both planners, you're going to have conflict all the time.
Mm-hmm. I
And
can see that. 'Cause
yeah,
you have your plan that you're stuck to.
right.
I think you read on there at one point complementary personality or complementary something. And that's true. Like we really do balance each other out and complement each other in a lot of things. But then we're also on the like foundation core pieces super on the same page. So I think that is really important, and I am also grateful for that.
So we have one more episode of the SYMBIS Series assessment for us, and I encourage people to go on and take their own assessment and dive into their relationships, because there might be some red flags or things that you don't know about your relationship or your significant other that is important. I thank Bailey again for just hosting this and kind of.
She kept it calm this time.
She kept it calm this time, even though we tried.
I tried to create conflict in a few places, and it didn't work because you guys just agreed.
Well, you might have one more chance. You might have one more chance at it. So until next time, you've been here with Desmond, Sienna, and Bailey, and we want to know what's up. Thanks for listening or watching.